Hey everyone, this is Kylan Ginger with Acquira here, and welcome to my external brain slash personal journal. I wanted to take some time to show you a systematic framework for journaling. Now, this is something that the majority of our team at Acquira does, and I think we would all say that it's probably one of the top personal development and growth habits that you can develop. It was actually Hayden Miyamoto, who's one of our co-founders, that passed this on to a lot of us I know, and I know he's been doing it since he was a teenager, and I've been journaling since I was 15, but it wasn't until about 5 months ago that I really started to get systematic about it, and this is what I want to showcase to you guys right now. Now, this isn't anywhere close to your typical Dear Diary journaling. The purpose of this systematic method of journaling is to help you track, measure, record, and learn about things in your life that are the most important, with the ultimate goal of continually leveling up as a human being. We fondly call this the external brain because if you use this journaling method to its fullest extent, you'll be recording pretty much anything and everything that is important to you. This means you can recall probably 10 times the amount of information you would if you just relied on your memory. Actually, you could probably recall a lot more than that. It quite literally makes you superhuman. So what I wanted to do is open my personal journal up to you so you can see how this thing works. Now keep in mind we're always developing and improving our systematic frameworks, but what I have here I think is a very good place for you to start. So you can see this is in OneNote, and there's probably other platforms and programs that you can use. I just started with OneNote, and I'm probably not going anywhere anytime soon, but the key thing is you want to have a few different tiers here of information. So you can see that Kylan's notebook is open. You can see that within the notebook there are various sections that you can create, and within each section there are pages that you can create. And if you look, you can obviously notice that I've created a section for all the important areas in my life. So there's a section for things that I want to review on a regular basis and be constantly reminded of. There's a section for things that I learn. There's a section for posts, which is recent, so it doesn't really have anything in it, but when I take the things I learn and basically write them into post format to communicate to the rest of the world on various platforms. There is my journal for this month. This is my favorite part. There is the journal for my career, or basically the main business that I'm leading, which happens to be Kingmakers or Acquira, same company, just different brand, different arms of that company. I have a section for ideas, and then I have other sections for some of the other projects that I'm a part of, plus a miscellaneous, and then basically an archive here. So you can see I'm here in review frequently, and you can see all the different pages that I have, and the one that's been open this whole time, which is basically my meaning for this year. So you can see here I have my personal mission statement, I have my roles as a husband, as a father, son, brother, friend, uncle, business leader. I have my personal affirmations. These are things that I say and affirm with conviction to myself on basically a daily basis. Same thing with mantras. And then a personal flywheel, which is a whole nother subject and still a work in progress for me. If you've read Jim Collins, anything by Jim Collins, or Google Jim Collins flywheel, you can find out more about what that's all about. And yeah, once again, these are all things that I want to review on a regular basis. So here are the mantras. These are my personal goals for 2020. These are my wife's goals for 2020. This right here is a gratitude template. I'll talk a little bit more about this in a bit, but it's basically a list of ways that I can practice gratitude. And I cycle through one each day. And I know this is something pretty much everybody on our team does, and it's a great way. Gratitude, happiness means different things to everybody. It's a little bit subjective, but gratitude is certainly a key to happiness and fulfillment. And if you do it consistently, life just gets a lot better. I have stuff on the ideal diet that I want for myself. I have a wish list / shopping list. I have our marriage shield on here. This is actually something that I'm happy to share with people. I'm happy to share a lot of this stuff with you, actually, if you just want to email me at kylan@acquira.com, KYLON@acquira.com. This is basically a list of standards for my wife's and my marriage. We're going on 10 years. We put this together when we were dating, and it's something we review frequently on a regular basis and score each other on. It's just kept our relationship very, very solid throughout the years. I started a section for my favorite quotes here. Again, you think of this as your external brain. So I have this open every hour of every day. I'm in it, recording things and looking at things every hour of every day. It is quite literally the external brain. So anytime I'm on the internet, I'm reading a blog or a book and I come across a great quote now, I think I want to remember that for later, just to look back on. And so I immediately go to my journal, I go to the correct section, I plug it in here. Other things in here, important memories. Like, that's just a no-brainer, right? But life just goes by so quick sometimes. I have a 10-month-old daughter, our first child, and she's just developing so much every day. There's very important memories that I want to remember forever. And I know if I don't write them down and keep them in a specific spot, I'm going to lose them. So that ends up in my external brain. I also started a learning list. Feel free to steal anything here. And yeah, let's move on. So learning. You should always be learning. You should always be growing. One of our values at Acquira is being voracious learners. And so whenever I'm reading a book or listening to a podcast or listening to or learning from a specific individual, it ends up in this learning section. I add a page and I just journal on it. And then this is my favorite part, the daily journal. It is the epicenter of my personal development. This is where I track all the things that are most important to me. And it's constantly evolving because you're constantly figuring out what's important to you. And as soon as you've decided something is important to you and you focus on it for a long time, it can eventually become not as important anymore. Maybe it's a skill that it's important that you master. And once you've mastered it, you need to move on. So this is a living system, I guess you could say, that's evolving as I evolve. But it's a systematic framework for my personal growth. And it's in the form of a checklist. So you can see here, right now I'm in my master template. So this is the thing that I would update, and then I copy and paste this for each day, each new journaling day, basically. But you can see on the left-hand side here, I have it split up into morning, evening, and for the week. And then I have a checklist of all the things that are important to me that I want to track and pay attention to. On the right-hand side, you can see I've basically copied and pasted my personal meaning for the year as just a constant reminder. It's constantly in my face. So let's just go through these, right? Review my mission statement, roles, affirmations, mantras, what speaks to me today as a focal point. So that's what's on the right-hand side here. I would review those, and I would journal underneath here, and then check that off when it was done. I have review my flywheel. What part do I need to work on today? I have meditate for any length of time. Also work out for any length of time. I have this productivity doc that Jeremy on our team put together. The guy is amazingly productive and effective, and so he put together what he knows about productivity in a document. It's something I know I always need to work on, so it's something that I've decided this is what I want to review every day until I've mastered it. Something else I want to review on a daily basis is this article by Sam Altman on how to be successful. This is also in our Acquira library, which you have access to through the guide. Would highly suggest. And then there's a section for open journaling in the morning. And in the evening, you can see some of the other things that are important to me too, like appreciating my wife. I know it looks kind of silly to have literally a check mark that says, tell her she is beautiful, but these are things she really appreciates, and I get distracted with work. It's not always on the forefront of my mind. And so this doesn't mean I walk up and just robotically say, you're beautiful, so I can just get a check mark and go to bed. But it's a constant reminder to show her appreciation and list the specific ways that she likes to be appreciated. Same with my daughter, and I actually have my dog in there as well. I'm also sometimes not the best at staying in touch with my really good friends, so I have that in there to just send them a personal note or oftentimes just a funny meme. And then feel free to pause the video and you can look at the rest here. And so just clicking over, I'll click over to just January 13 here. You can see what this looks like in action. It does not take long to fill this out. At least it doesn't have to take long, but doing it consistently, and you can see I've been fairly consistent. It's not every single day, but doing it as consistently as possible, just that effect in tracking these things that are important to you, it just has an amazing compounding effect. Like, this is truly a way to get 1,000 times better in a year as a human being. So feel free to pause the video and look through how I journaled on this particular day. You'll notice it's slightly different than the master journaling template because back in January, my master journaling template looked a little bit different. So I think, back then I was doing this HIIT workout plan, which I'm no longer doing anymore. So like I said, this changes as your personal development changes. The last section I'll show you is my journal for Acquira. And again, it says KM, Kingmakers is our parent company, 2 different brands, but same company, same exact team, same business model. But, this is what I spend the majority of my day working on. And so you can see there's a section for every meeting I have, every person I talk to, every idea we're talking about, everything significant that happens in the company. I'm adding it here and journaling about it. And it's my external brain. I don't easily forget things because of this. Like I can just go back and query for a certain word and see maybe 10 entries where I've journaled or talked about that particular subject with somebody and over maybe like 3 or 4 meetings. And yeah, I can't begin to fully describe how helpful this has been just in my career. Now I'm trying to think of anything else that might be helpful here. The other thing, as you can see, this is split up. It says journal this month, Kingmakers this month. I'm not, as you can see, the best at keeping it month to month, but what you should do just to keep things decluttered is once you've completed a journal for the month, you can take all these entries, like what I will do is take January all the way through April 1, which is where I'm recording this, and move it to this archive there. So you just keep this decluttered. So just a small kind of administrative tip there. But yeah, guys, this is my external brain. Again, this is something that most of our team at Acquira does, and we would highly encourage you to do and to encourage your team to do. It's just, I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but it is probably for me personally, it's been the single best personal development habit that I've acquired in the last several years at least. Again, I'm happy to share a lot more of this or answer any questions. Go ahead and just email me at kylan@acquira.com.